Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Juni's Café. I'm, of course, your host, Juni, and this is a series where we talk, hash our feelings out, let these pondering thoughts be put out into the ether and sort of learn and continue to grow and evolve from these conversations. My goal in this is, of course, not to have it be a one-sided conversation. I, of course, would love to hear back and allow myself to grow and talk and, go through that process. So today's topic is kind of juicy, I guess. Hold up. I'm a little thirsty. So I want to talk about red flags. Because girl, I swear I really do see red flags. I'm really good at seeing red flags. The only thing is that I really just ignore them. And that just is how I am. And to give you some context, I'm currently talking to someone. I am currently talking to like multiple people at this time in my life. I'm getting back into the dating field, and of course nothing like committed or anything, but this is where I am at this time. At this time of recording, of course, I don't know if I'll still be in the same state by the time this uploads, but I guess we'll see. So right now, as of recording this, I am talking to this one guy whose name will not be mentioned, of course, and he is giving me so many red flags. Now, you're like, Juni, why are you still talking to him? Like, why are you having this conversation with him? Like, why do you keep, continuing to, like, talk to him? And honestly, it's because I just find it fascinating. For me, on my part, I don't know why it is that I see someone with like they just be giving me red flags, and I'm like, this is a fascinating human being. It's gonna end up horribly, but I just want to continue to interact with this person, not because I want to date them or because I want to like be in a relationship with him, but because I truly think it's gonna be a like hilarious story. And it's probably really toxic of me to like continuing to talk to him, knowing that he probably is a lot more interested in me. Maybe that's a red flag that he should be looking out for in me. Damn, that's something that I haven't thought about. But ooh, sorry, I had to take a sip. Again, just taking a step back right now. And to elaborate on this, I met this guy on Tinder, and he was really nice. He messaged me, I think he messaged me back in November-ish. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then we didn't talk. Like, he messaged me once or twice, and I messaged him back, and then we started messaging off of Tinder, because I think he was interested in me. So he's like, hey, message me off Tinder. So we began talking outside of Tinder, and then he just, for some reason, decided to be like, oh my god, I swear to god, if he sees this, I'm gonna be so upset. But for some X or Y reason, he decided to hit me up on, and this was on Snapchat. He was like, hey, do you want to text me? And he said, you don't seem like other guys who are assholes. And I was like, oh, red flag number one. Whatever, let's just let's not, maybe it was just casual, but whatever. Also, I'm not a guy, let's just put that out there. I'm non-binary, but it's not relevant to this conversation. So he says that comment, and I feel a little uncomfortable because it's like, oh, you're not like other guys. It's like you're not an asshole. It's like, well, of course, it's the bar's pretty low. You don't want to put me on a pedestal so soon. You haven't really talked to me. You don't know that I'm not an asshole. I might as well be. You don't know that about me. And so he talks to me. He begins. Oh no, he gives me his number, and then I text him to say a hi and have a conversation. Like, let's see where this thing goes. And out of nowhere, completely out of the blue, he asks me, hey, do you speak Spanish? And me, as a proud Puerto Riqueño, Boricua, proudly, I have that Latino blood, Caribbean pride. I said, yes, I do speak Spanish. And then he says, oh, that's hot. And then, that's it. He doesn't bring it up again. He doesn't ask me more about, where did I learn Spanish? Where am I from? He just says, that is hot. And that was red flag number 2. You just randomly asked me if I spoke Spanish, and then you didn't say anything else about it besides that is hot. I don't care if you think that me speaking Spanish is hot. That is not a compliment, because you're not asking me about my culture. You're not asking me about how I feel about the language. You're not asking me more, you're not asking me if I, that's it. I don't know. I think the further side of the conversation got regarding to the language thing was yeah, I told him that was my native language, and that was it. And I think, I don't know, just that comment made me feel, it made me feel uncomfortable, and because I really wouldn't go up to someone that spoke French, for example. And I think French is a beautiful language. I think French is a very sexy language. I do think speaking French is hot, but I wouldn't go up to someone that spoke French randomly that I didn't really talk to, or that I was just, just starting to get to know, and be like, oh, do you speak French? And then they would be like, yeah, and I would say, oh, that's hot. And then not continue to ask more about it, or just leave it at that, because that's weird. That put me off at the very least. So, and that's already 2 red flags right there. But that wasn't it. That wasn't that. There were a couple of other things that he did do as well. One moment. So he started giving me this really weird vibe, because in his Snapchat story, he started posting these things that were very, very emotional. Things that made me feel like he was going through a lot emotionally, which, again, it's another red flag for me, because I've decided at this point in my life that I'm not going to be dating someone that needs to be healed or needs to be rescued, because I've already dated or attempted to date or been, in either short-term relationships, long-term relationships. No, I don't think I've been in a long-term relationship with someone that needed to be saved, thankfully. But I've been in short-term relationships or been dating someone that I felt like I needed to rescue them, because if I get into a relationship with someone that is in that mindset, I will instinctively try to rescue them, and I will put aside my own mental well-being for them. And I don't want to do that again, so I have decided not to get involved with people who are currently going through that, because I will mess up my own mental health. And that's a very toxic trait that I obviously need to work on myself, and I feel like I have. So therefore, I don't want to get involved with someone that needs to work on their own mental well-being to be ready to be in a relationship. So seeing all these posts that he keeps posting about how he is so heartbroken, and low-key I think he's not over his ex or something, but that's total speculation and I have no idea, and it's none of my business, honestly. But again, more red flags. And so I keep seeing all these red flags, and I'm like, oh my god, am I really gonna continue to talk to him? Is this gonna be a whole conversation that I'm just gonna continue to go through? And he wants to like meet up, and I'm like, okay, I need to do the shape test. What is the shape test, Judy, you ask? The shape test is a test that I have designed to determine people's personalities, and it's very simple. It's where I ask someone what shape they would be, and then they would give me their shape, and I'm able to sort of determine more about their personality based on the shape that they choose. And I'm not gonna like go list by list by shape that and what they mean, because it's not like the system has not been fully formed. It is still in progress, but I thought he was gonna choose circle, and he didn't, which is very interesting. He chose square or triangle. The point is, I don't mess around with people that choose square. People that choose square are the most boring people ever. Anyway, that was yet another red flag for me, which is weird. You're thinking, you're really not gonna date someone because they chose square? Because you think they're a square? It's not that they chose square. It's that they chose square on top of the fact that they keep already giving me so many red flags. So many of them. And so it's just continued to go downhill from there. So I think at the time of recording this, I think this happened either yesterday or 2 days ago. Yes, it was 2 days ago because I was drinking. Last night I was also drinking, but 2 nights ago I was like casually drinking. So he started hitting me up, and okay, out of nowhere he just tells me that he likes me, and he does it in the very nice guy kind of way, in a way that's like, I don't know how to explain it, but we've all seen those Facebook Messenger screenshots where like this nice guy TM will message a girl and he's very like milady. He didn't say milady or my lord or whatever, but it kind of reminded me of like a 2008 scene kid, nice guy kind of vibe, the way that he worded it. So I was like kind of put off by that, and then he started being very self-deprecating, and it was that red flag again, like another red flag about just being so self-deprecating right now, and I don't really need to hear you being self-deprecating, because self-deprecation isn't sexy. It's not something that I'm attracted to, and I'm not telling you that you have to love yourself or that you have to be confident, because being confident is hard, loving yourself is hard, and it's super valid if you don't love yourself every day, but don't neg yourself so as a flirting tactic. Like, that's not something that's gonna work on me, at least. So I called him out on it. I was like, hey, you don't have to be so hard on yourself. It's kind of awkward. And so I said, you're being kind of awkward. Like, some of the things that you're saying are making me feel awkward. And then he said, you're making it awkward. And I was like, no. So I basically told him everything. I called out all of his red flags. I wrote a very long text about how everything he said and how it made me uncomfortable. And mind you, I was inebriated. I had drank a little bit. I wasn't like full out drunk, but I was like buzzed, maybe a little I was like buzzed or tipsy, like somewhere, yeah. And I listed everything out, and then he was like, okay, well, you know what, talk to me tomorrow, because I don't think like you want to talk to me. And I was like, well, you're being kind of you're kind of stepping on my toes right now because you keep giving me these red flags. You keep giving me these excuses about why I shouldn't talk to you. So I went to bed because I was drunk. I was sleepy. I wanted to sleep. And the next morning, I decided to text him. Why not? You know, he gave me all these red flags. Why not text him, right? And this boy tells me, oh, is it out of your system? Are you, like, is the anger out of your system, or some stupid comment like that? And honestly, that was yet another red flag. Like, nothing but red flags with this guy, I swear. And I politely and calmly told him, was like, I wasn't angry, and it wasn't the alcohol. I just pointed out all of the things that you did that made me feel uncomfortable. You know, we could move past it. So after that, we've continued to talk normally and casually and fine. I still don't know how I feel about him. I know, right? You don't know how you feel about him. I would have stopped talking to him. I know. But this just really just goes to show, and I'm just, telling this whole story to basically just break down and, like, tell you how I really do be ignoring these red flags for no reason whatsoever than just because it's fun. And I did tell him this. I was like, you have been making this very awkward, but I am not going to stop talking to you because either it can only go up from here, or it'll make for a really funny story. So I guess that's sort of where I am. Like, I know that I'm not gonna let myself get into, like, this really toxic situation, and I don't know if I'm actually ever gonna hang out with him or, like, interact with him, like, in a physical. Also, we're in a pandemic, so I'm being very careful about who I choose to hang out with at this moment. And I don't think that me continuing to interact with him would be the healthiest thing. However, I think one thing would be to completely ignore the red flags and to hope to, like, pursue and, like, continue to have a relationship with someone, which I have done. Like, that is something that I have done. I have seen red flags, and I have been like, okay, well, I still want to be with this person. But I don't think that this is what the case is at this point. This is definitely me just noticing the red flags. All of them. So many. And just continuing to talk to this person just for the gag. And is this a healthy decision? No. I feel like objectively we can all say that this is not the healthiest decision. But also, who am I hurting? No, well, actually, I'm probably hurting him. He's probably getting his feelings hurt, but I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get called out for this. And I feel like it's fine. I'm open to being called out. I'm totally okay with that. I just feel like I don't know. I have thoughts on this. I have, like, lots of things that are pondering about the situation, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's also a very petty thing. I was actually originally gonna make, like, this video about, like, something that was deep and profound, but I thought this was something that was palatable and funny, but also something that was important to talk about, because a lot of people don't really listen to their red flags or don't really look at them. People will continue to be in these relationships just because they feel like they have to. I know so many relationships that they're, you know, you have a marriage for years and years and years and years and years, and one of them will cheat on the other, and they'll have children, and the person that was cheated on will know and will be fully aware of this, but they'll stick together because they have children, and they gotta make it through, but they both know that they don't love each other, or one partner will love the other and the other won't. And that is painful. It hurts, and by the way, I'm not speaking from personal experience. Obviously, I do not have children. This is just an example. So yeah, I would like to know, y'all, if anyone is listening, I would like to know y'all's thoughts. Have you ever been in a situation where you noticed red flags and you ignored them, or have you recently been in a situation where you were able to successfully catch red flags before they affected your well-being? And how did you handle that situation? I don't really have anything else to say about this, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Again, thank you so much for tuning into Juni's Cafe. Leave your comments down below, and of course, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you can catch new videos every single Tuesday. I'm possibly thinking about starting to upload twice a week, but I guess we'll see. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a good one. Bye bye.